Alright, so I just gave a demonstration on how to make a straight through cable. So we have our basic style A tip, white orange, solid orange, white green, solid blue, white blue, solid green, white brown, solid brown. And so if I was doing a straight through cable, both tips would be exactly the same. For this, I'm going to be doing as a crossover cable. So I'm going to have one with the style A, and then this one will be style B, which is going to be slightly different. We're going to end up swapping our orange and our green cabling to make that crossover cable. And you're not likely to use this very much anymore. Most of the software can actually handle straight through cables for just about everything, but you may end up needing to make a crossover cable for specific applications. So we start by using our crimping tool. It has a little wire stripper there to strip off that outer sheathing so we can get down to our actual wires. And since this is going to be a crossover, we're going to start with green, and we're going to untwist everything and get everything straightened out. And we're going to start white green, solid green.
Well, I didn't know you could do that.
And then we'll have white with orange.
Whoa, that looks like a torsion device. Sorry.
And then we'll come over to our blue cables, and we should have our solid blue and then white with blue. And then solid orange. If I can get it to stay in the right place. And then we'll have white with brown, and finally solid brown. And so you can kind of see how all the cables are still a little bit wavy. I've noticed an effective way to straighten them is to grip both ends of it firmly, and you're just going to make small circles with one hand as you pull to straighten things out. So it'll help get rid of some of the waves and some of the curviness, as well as helping to finish untwist them from each other. And then once we've gotten them fairly straight, I want to double check all the way out towards the end of them that they're still in the correct order. And once I've done that, I can go ahead and trim off some of this excess and install it into my load bar. Load bar here. And so with the load bar, it has a little ridge. You want that ridge to the back side of the cable and up. So as we insert these, and then once you're all the way through, you want to double check once again to make sure that they're still in the correct order coming out of the load bar. And they are, so I'm good there. And I tug my load bar all the way to the back just to finish helping me straighten and space all the wires out. And then we use our tip to determine how much length we actually need on the cables themselves. And so using that general rule, you want your sheathing to come up just past this clip. Let me pull my load bar back down a little bit. So right about there. So using my load bar as my guide, I know to trim right at the end of the load bar. Make it as smooth as possible. And then my wires should be ready to go into their tip. I have just a little bit more to trim on these brown wires. There we go. And keeping, now that this is a crossover, we want our green to the left as we're looking through our window. So the clip will be down. And we insert it in. Give it a firm push to make sure everything's pushed all the way in to the tip. And then when we crimp it, we want to give it an extra little bit of push, a little bit of pressure to hold everything in there properly as we crimp it down. And so this would be a basic crossover cable based on the two tips. You have a type A and a type B. I have one with a boot and one without a boot, so you can see the comparison there. The boot's just kind of extra protection for the tip. The most common thing to break on these is the little clip, and then they won't stay securely into whatever you're plugging them into. So the boot does help protect that and keep it from breaking. Once you have a cable completed, you can use a basic cable tester, and this is a fairly cheap model, but it'll work. You plug your tips into it and turn it on, and you'll see with the crossover that it's not 1 and 1 and 2 and 2 because we've done that crossover tip. But it'll show you that you have connectivity through each cable all the way through your Ethernet cable. And so that is how you make a crossover cable.